My first memory of riding a bike, probably around three years old. Do you remember big wheels at all? Like the plastic stuff that I remember always grinding through the plastic wheel and the tire, just ka-chink, 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 every other pedal, you know. And I always remember that growing up on big wheels with worn out tires.
That's one of the reasons why I moved out here, just because I like the whole valley. You know, it's surrounded on both sides by beautiful trees, and you can just see for miles. It just looks beautiful. It doesn't even look real. It's like somebody airbrushed it all in, and that's the reason I came to camp. I mean, they got the best ramps. They got everything. It's a good place to be. My earliest memory of being on a bike would be back in South Africa. My father used to, there wasn't much work in England, so my father went to South Africa to work as a gold miner. Ooh, gold. That's where I got my first bike. And it was a yellow chipper, it was called. It was my bike, it was good. I got stabilizers on it and stuff like that, so I enjoyed it. And yeah, that's all I did was just cruise around the apartment block that we lived in, and that was my first experience with the bikes. My first competition was back in England, and it was in Alfriston Leisure Centre, and I must have been all of 13, 14 years old. And all the ramps consisted of was a quarter pipe and a flat kick turn ramp. So it was pretty good. Like, I basically went just to see the pro riders who were coming in that day, you know, but I thought while I'm there, why not enter the contest, you know, because it was good fun. All my friends from school were doing it, so I felt that if I didn't go in, I'd be left out. Whoop-de-doo! It was just a good day because at the end of the day, the pro riders, they just did the best demo that I've ever seen in my life, and that's probably why I kept going back, because I always wanted to see the really good riders at the end of the day come on and all compete. So yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons why I first started going to comps.
You know, I just want Jamie to go out and have a good time, but do his all, you know, give it his all, because he puts so much time in practicing that I just want him to perform his best for himself.
Jamie goes bigger than most anybody I know and flows smoothly everywhere.
Have you ever been on a trampoline? That's what it's like to get bigger. You know, the harder you bounce, the higher you go. It's important that you respect other people's riding, because, you know, I think you're always looking for other people to respect what you do.
Yeah, I always know it's Jamie. I mean, sometimes, like, because he rides for a team, you know, you see just the colours and the helmet, but, you know, Jamie's got a unique style. Jamie's way of riding is, I've always said, you're Mr. Smooth.
I think to be a great rider, you've got to be influenced by everybody. When it's your best run on your best day, you know what I mean? Like when everything's in your favour and everything's going great and you can't put a foot wrong, you know, you trick after trick after trick, you're just pumping them out like a robot. Even your hardest trick that day seems like nothing, you know. Then to a certain extent, you know, you're grinning ear to ear and you're thinking, yeah, you know, this is a good day for me. Hello and welcome to Ramp Tours. I'm your tour guide, Jamie Beswick, and seat belts on, please. Excellent. I think it's just nice when it all comes together and, you know, you're proud for yourself because you've took the time to learn all that stuff, and then you're really pleased that you're doing it in front of all your peers and people you've got a lot of respect for, and you just want them to see, you know, how much you enjoy riding your bike. You do become a little bit flamboyant to the crowd as well, so it's a contest, you know, it brings that out of everybody. You know, if we all sat there like penguins, just being as stiff as you like, then I'm sure the viewing figures would go down drastically. You know, they want to see some action and a little bit of fighting people, so why not?
How many bones have I broken since joining the Monotone Society?
3 broken collarbones, a broken thumb, a broken finger, broken ankle, broken elbow, kneecap, shin last week, and several concussions later, here I am today. Loving it.
Don't forget your toothbrush, kids.
The closest thing I can compare riding a bike to is, I don't know if you've ever been in a dream. You're floating, or you're just in the air forever, like super slow motion. Everything's just calm. You're just floating there, you know. And when you ride away, it's just like the best feeling in the world. It's kind of like that dream, you know. And like when you hurry and wake up like that, that's when you wreck. Hey, I'm Fuzzy Hall. This is my house. And this is my garage. This is where I ride in the winter when I can't ride my backyard. So all you guys out there, build some stuff in your garage. It's really fun. In the winter, I ride in my garage, and I'm a father now, so I got to babysit sometimes, so it's really convenient to come out here and just ride, sit the kid in the seat or on his bike now. I'm going to drop in right now, try to transfer into the spine, double peg that quarter, 180 sprocket the spine to 180 out, double peg that side, and then wall ride that. My background in BMX is started off at 9 years old racing.
Fuzzy's always been focused on what he was going to do with his life. From the time he was 8 years old, he came in and said, for Christmas I want a cheap bicycle.
All right, here we go. But the coolest thing about racing was the jumping. You know, and I always look forward to going to different racetracks, and I didn't even care about the track, the layout of it. I just, the biggest jump on the track, that's what I always worried about. I love that stuff. There we go. I was more into just showing off, you know, like that's what everyone called me, was a show off, you know, and that was kind of an insult then, but today it's no big deal, you know, like now we have a sport that is fully legitimate with showing off. There we go, that's pretty fun. This here is artwork here. There's no room in the garage because I've obviously got ramps in there, so this is my motorcycle's home for right now. My wife really enjoys it.
He's going to leave it there until I say something, and I'll never say anything, so it's going to get left there forever.
The thing I'm probably best known for in our sport is maybe being kind of a pioneer of the sport, you know. One of the best compliments I got was from one of my first team managers or boss, and he called me the kid from the vacant lot, you know, and that's such a cool quote because there was nothing there, you know, and there was no sport dedicated to just jumping a bicycle, you know. It's just an amazing sport to watch live. He's got his pops on the back of the door here, upside down in a backflip can. I love this room. Oh yeah, I remember my first competition for sure. Racing, this was in 1979, before a lot of you young guys were born. So I was really scared, you know, like any 9-year-old kid would be. And my first race was indoors and on cement with wooden jumps, wooden box jumps that, like, when you went over them, they shook the hell out of your arms, you know. And so it was pretty crazy. This is where I play all my video games. Of course, I got a bunch of Midway games. my first experience racing was just, it was pretty gnarly because they allowed alcohol into the Coliseum, so you had a bunch of drunken dads yelling at their kids, pedal, you know, and just, it was really crazy. And, faster, pedal, go. I'm like one of those dads at the BMX races. And I was really nervous, and my very first race, I won, believe it or not.
Well, let's see. When he first started racing, he invited the whole entire press to the house to see his trophies, and they interviewed him. He calls me up at work and says, the press is coming, and I really didn't believe him, and I got there, and he was giving me an interview.
It was just, I remember leaving that night, going back home with a bunch of rowdy 17-year-old kids, and I was 9, hanging out with all these older guys, you know, and I think that always helped me out riding too. I always rode with older riders, and it was a good time, for sure. I think if anyone's building a house, should incorporate this into their house, for sure. Obviously, you got your normal toilet, but ta-da! That, I can't believe, like every house in America should have a urinal. That's all there is to it. Like, that's the coolest thing about my house. I love it.
Fuzzy got his nickname because of his hair.
He had this really, really coarse hair, and it was white. We were talking white. And she had this theory that if she let it grow long and wet it,
the weight of it would keep it down. There wasn't anything that would keep it down.
She'd send him off to school, and you know, his hair would be flat. Well, as the day wore on, you know, he's this crazy little kid running around. It would just start.
It looked like he had put his finger in a light socket.
So it was, you know, this long, and it's just sticking out from his head, and he had this white afro.
I had a big white afro when I was like 5 years old. First day of kindergarten, fuzzy, stuck.
It's been a good thing in the long run, but at the beginning when he was younger, he didn't like it so much.
All right, back to the tour. This is the kitchen here, and this kitchen floor is actually, this island in the middle is my kid's race track. Show us a hot lap. I also build all the courses, like I built gravity games. To build my backyard course right now, we're going on 2 years. And just to give you some kind of little time scale, we build gravity games in 2 weeks. Like I said, my school teacher always said I'd use a shovel to make a living, and she was damn right. Oh, woo! That's too much fun.
The thing that separates the Gravity Games bike, I think, from a lot of the other games in this genre is the fact we have the Gravity license.
Well, the first thing that had to happen is everybody went to the Gravity Games to get a real good feel for what we were exactly trying to mimic.
It was wild. I loved it. I really liked the Vert ramp competitions.
We have a huge amount of respect for these guys, watching what they do, and basically they're putting their necks on the line every time they go out there.
The level of these pro riders, the kinds of things they can do is just very impressive.
We looked at the top professionals in the Gravity Games, and those are the ones that we really went after.
I think we have about 7 pro riders that we're using in the game. I've got to meet Dennis McCoy, Fuzzy Hall.
Fuzzy, he came in and really helped us out with like the style of the game, what it should look like. And once when we got somewhat of the style down, he came in and said, all right, this is how the bike should feel.
One of the things that's really important to me is the physics. Like when you're playing this game, you know, how does it feel like a bike, or does it feel like you're driving a car?
Jamie Beswick, was great for us. From the beginning, when we first met him, he had just come off a win at the X Games and was getting ready to do the Gravity Games when we did our motion capture shoot with him.
No other games have really done the type of motion capture that we were able to do for this game.
Basically what they do is there's cubes that they use for motion capture, and it was too small. So what we did is we stacked one on top of each other, and that was the first time that was ever done.
And it went down to the wire, to be honest. Each day we were sweating it out.
But once everything got going, it was really awesome to see those riders on that vert ramp just doing some of the stuff they did.
Yeah, we don't really want to talk about the crash.
Truly embarrassing.
Yeah, we've had a couple of injuries that happened that we're not so proud of.
Gary's crash.
The crash, the infamous crash.
Yeah, we heard about how Gary just had to get out there and show all the young guys and the other athletes that he could ride a bike.
We were in Fuzzy's backyard, and it was the end of 2 days of shooting, and I decided I was going to get up there and try to get a taste of what these guys go through.
I have no idea what Gary was thinking when he did that. Maybe there should be an age limit on those bikes that say, if you're over this age, you cannot ride this bike.
The goal was to miss the first jump and just go off to the side, get a feel for what that felt like.
I guess he hopped on the bike and made it most of the way down the ramp.
And I caught the edge of the first rhythm jump, and pretty much a lot of loose dirt there, and just pretty much ate it. Did a 360, I think, if I remember correctly.
Why can't we mocap that? Get that on motion capture, man. We needed some good crashes.
So, and I think they respected, what I do for a living too. After, after they saw Gary wreck, So it's pretty rough on your body.
Yeah, it was a couple days of misery and bruising and some scrapes, but mostly bruised ego more than anything, I think, yeah.
Gravity Games allows a kid to experience what they've always wanted to experience on a bike. They start off just riding around the neighborhood and in all these areas where they aren't allowed to ride in real life.
And of course the ultimate goal is to reach the Gravity Games and to do well. And that's one area I think we've nailed really well is the final events, or people that have seen it are raving that it's just like being there, and that's what we've tried to pull off.
what's left of my human side. It's slowly changing in me. Will you give it to me? Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Open up your hate and then never open to me. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You mother, get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Madness has now come over me. What you got coming? Oh, drowning deep in my sea of loathing, broken, your servant died. Will you give it to me? It seems what's left of my human side. It's slowly changing in me. Will you give it to me? Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Open up your hate and then never open to me. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You mother, get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Madness has now come over me.
spent my life savings on a good bike that I bought from a friend and just got hooked.
I've been going ever since. I've not taken one day off.
But once I got my bike, I was just on it, dude. Every day, just like freedom kind of. You just ride and ride, and it's awesome.
That's all I do now, pretty much. Jump and ride street.
720s, double truck drivers.
Bar spin variations.
A couple grinds, decade air, I tried a double backflip, 540s, flares.
Looking forward to it.